Hi, I'm Alex for Teach Like This, and this is Turn and Talk. Turn and Talk is an oral language support strategy that provides scaffolded interaction between students, allows them to formulate ideas, and share their thoughts with other students. When you use Turn and Talk, students have a chance to share their thoughts in a very low-risk setting. Students verbalizing their thoughts scaffolds their understanding. In talking out with a peer, they get to use language that's close to where their level is. This is an easy strategy to implement in your classroom, but it's best employed with a routine. Start by determining strategic partners. Using strategic partners is a key element of the Turn and Talk strategy. It's best to have students paired up strategically that are one level away from each other. It's important to not have too much of a gap between one student and another. Secondly, you want to create an environment where partners are in close proximity to one another. In younger grades, you might want the students to be partnered up next to each other on the floor. In upper grades, you might use the students that are sitting next to each other in rows or across from each other in groups. Next, set your academic expectations. It's important for students to know how to take turns and have equal talking time. They need to lean forward, look each other in the eye, and speak clearly. You will also need to model, then expect students to be active listeners, ask prompting questions, and ask clarifying questions. Displaying an anchor chart somewhere in your classroom also might be a good idea to remind students the key elements of being a good Turn and Talk partner. Before you send your students off to Turn and Talk, you should determine a signal to come back to a whole group. You should also decide and communicate ahead of time whether that signal will be nonverbal or verbal, and once the students receive the signal, should they stop talking immediately or are they given 10 seconds to finish their thought? Finally, you need to model and expect flexibility and problem solving. If the students are talking and disagreeing with one another, what does a good disagreement look like? Also, what's the student to do if their strategic partner is out for the day? Once these Turn and Talk routines are established and running well, now it's time for flexibility. Once students feel comfortable and confident in the Turn and Talk strategy, you can have them pair up in any way that they see fit. As the students are talking, you as a teacher should be walking around and determining the level of conversation that you're hearing. A big question you can ask yourself, are the students making meaning with the content that they are reading? As you're walking around, this is a great time to provide a prompt to conversations that have stalled. This is also a great time to determine language structures, students' academic language, and students' vocabulary. Using the Turn and Talk strategy allows you to see what the student is thinking and whether they have the language to express their ideas. Student-to-student talk is essential for students to process content and for a teacher to assess understanding. That's all for this video. If you have additional questions, you can connect with me on Twitter, by email, or by commenting down below. And subscribe for weekly strategies in your newsfeed. I'm Alex, and that's Teach Like This.